What's up guys, Evasion here and welcome back to another video. Today's video we got some Subtlety Rogue, Fire Mage commentary, and I'm actually playing Fire Mage in these clips. These are the first games I've played in a while where I felt like we were firing on all cylinders. These games are absolutely fire, and they range from like 1900 to 2250 or 2260 MMR. I have a lot of games I actually want to upload from this, so that's why some of them are lower at the start. And we were playing with my friend Bondo's alt rogue, so he's very undergeared. I too am also undergeared. I don't really have a whole lot of versatility or corruptions. I think I even have like a tentacle item on my character, which isn't that great. Without further ado, let's hop into the clips. Alright, so right away, spoiler alert, Bondo switched over his main rogue near the end of this, so let's start off with one of the higher rated games just to start things off on a good note. Basically, this game's against a DH resto shaman, and we're going to be killing the demon hunter, and it's going to require a lot of like resetting to get through their cooldowns. In this game in particular, we get a pretty good overlap on their trinkets pretty early on. Off the bat here, I'm just going to go off to the side here, still in LOS, and we get a sap on the demon hunter. He tries to bomb me here for the initial opener after he blinds just to try and cover trinket, but it's slightly slow. We get the trinket, and I get shocked on fire, and the DH is still in sap. So what I do immediately, as soon as I stop moving my character, I go for a sheep, I shimmer for it to stay in LOS, and the druid or the shaman actually drops a pre-earthen wall, which is pretty good in his part, but we still got to do the go to see if we can get extra stuff. We get a nice kidney on there, and I drop my meteor off to the side, and we get the big combo going on to the DH. DH uses his trinket and his blur, and the shaman's caught up in a full sheep still. And I choose not to go for a resheep here in this situation because we've already got a lot of the cooldowns we need, and by not resheeping, it's going to allow DR to fall off faster than if I were to extend the DRs. We're going to be able to go sooner. So right here, I kind of make like a small mistake. I move like really far away from the fight. So I have to use a shimmer to try and land the sheep. Had I been not so far back, I might have been able to land it without using a shimmer there. But the way that things play out, I end up having a shimmer back for when I need it in a second. We use duel right here on the shaman. He's just trying to stall so he doesn't lose all of his HP. And right here, the DH actually uses this fell eruption when I don't know if he really needed to yet because there wasn't a go starting just yet. But he doesn't really have trinket, so if he doesn't do something now, he can get caught anyway. But nonetheless, the duel is lasting for the same duration as this fell eruption. So basically, as soon as the guy comes out of duel, there's going to be a kidney on the shaman. I see this. I got a sheep off of this, and there's a cheap shot onto the DH, so that's the start of our go. A shimmer here, get the quick poly, and we get a tentacle proc here. That's why I didn't combust, and we absolutely melt this guy. I could have just combusted there though, because that was the end of the game go for sure anyway. There was no way he was coming out of that, unless he was running Nether Walk or something, and he was able to squeak it in at the end. But anyway, that's that, and let's hop into the next clip. Alright, second game we're going to hop into here. This is against Mistweaver Warrior, and we decided to do a lot of plays to the Mistweaver here, and the reason I wanted to show this one is it's kind of fun because we get some really neat reverse setups, I guess. Normally you just go DPS a lot when you're playing sub rogue fire mage, but in this game in particular, we're able to do a lot of kills or attempts onto the Mistweaver. It's kind of one of those things where if Mistweaver keeps getting caught, he's probably a pretty easy kill target. On a map like Blade's Edge, we might not try to do this strategy because they can abuse the Z-axis quite well with the portal and stuff. But anyway, we get the cheap shot onto the warrior, and we get the really greedy, nice sap onto the Mistweaver after that. I sheep off the cheap shot. What starting like this does for us too is a lot of the time if we were just to sap the Mistweaver first and then cheap shot the warrior after, the warrior would just press Blade Storm to immune and kind of dismantle our play. So anyway, we're getting the Greater here onto the Mistweaver, and the warrior decides to trinket poly and stop my Greater, which was not a horrible play. That was like a singular, like one thing was used, but then the Mistweaver kind of throws by trinketing late here. He should have not have done this. It kind of accelerates the game a lot. And basically what we're going to do right now is we're just trying to use Frost Nova and stall for DRs. We want to keep our HP as healthy as possible, trying to get LOS and stuff like that. We got a lot on cooldown. We pretty much just need to start setting up really good kill attempts here. So I drag the warrior LOS of the monk, which allows the monk to actually fall out of combat, and we get another really nice sap onto the Mistweaver. And then right here, I'm going to get the poly off DB, and I'm casting Greater into this kidney shot. We actually get this monk really low here, and he gets cocoon at like, if he didn't have safeguard here, he would have never got this cocoon off, but that's totally fine. Back to kiting again, we got War Banner up, and we get a duel on the warrior, which was super good. I would have lost a lot of my HP right there had that duel not happened because of sheep DRs. And as soon as it falls off again, right now what I'm doing is, initially I was running over to this monk because I was going to do a reverse setup where I got poly onto the Mistweaver to start casting my greater. That's why I decided to go with a ring right here. You'll see me fake cast the ring, and the reason I do this is I was worried that my rogue wasn't in the right position and it would have got dispelled off by the monk. That's the one kind of dangerous thing about this play. Things have to be really, really smooth, or the healer's going to snake dispels on you, and you're not going to be able to complete your plays as cleanly. So I fake cast the ring into a recast to time it perfectly with this kidney shot. I shimmer to get an LOS, and then I get a greater here, and we get a ton of burst on this monk. He just gets smoked. Gone. And this game too, once again, this was being played with Bondo's ult, which is much less geared. Its gear is probably as bad as my mage is not that great. I have like 470 item level, but I have like really bad stats, no corruptions, no versatility. I have like 15%. I think I have a screenshot of it that I can show at the end of the video. But anyway, let's hop into another clip. Alright, so hopping into this next game, we got a game against a Destro and resto druid. And this game is one of the lower ones again with the ult again. I think it's around 2k MMR still. After looking through most of these clips that I picked, I don't think any of them are actually 1900. They're all at least 2k. But anyway, we're going to get a sap onto the warlock. And because I'm rusty, I got a really bad ring placement. I like to try to ring the pet so that the pet can't CS in the opener unless the warlock trinkets. I get stunned up by the druid, and then my rogue immediately comes over and blinds the druid. We're trying to get his trinket, and we get some pressure out onto the warlock here. I get one of my tentacle procs there. I think it's 45 corruption, so it does some damage. And we get the trinket on the druid. I get claw on me, and I'm just trying to sheep right now. I get a sheep onto the druid that I probably shouldn't have got, but because he was trying to move and get hots up onto the warlock, he's stuck out of form. Right there, I get a greater off that I actually shouldn't have. He tried to CS it, but it was late, and so I got it. But it doesn't really change the matchup too much, because we already got both trinkets. We forced wall. Maybe we wouldn't have forced wall if I didn't get that greater off. I don't know. I decided to block here. Usually, you want to avoid using ice block before cauterize in a lot of situations, at least in 2v2, because then when cauterize procs, a lot of the time you're going to die, especially against stuff like this where infernal and they got dots and stuff like that, and it's going to tick you down. On the rogue side of things right here too, this rogue is just trying to get another setup here. He's clean out, he's in stealth. I'm just sitting in block, I'm waiting, we're being patient. As soon as I get out of this, I managed to get a nice spell steal. I take a bunch of hots just so I can stall longer. The rogue's just patiently waiting here, waiting for kind of infernal to go away and for me to be ready. He wants to go druid here. We're actually going to swap druid because we got both trinkets. So we get a cheap shot onto the warlock. And initially, I thought we were going to go onto the warlock, and this ring was to just stop everybody because I'm hitting everybody with this ring. And I noticed that when you use kidney, I seen the extra global of Nightblade go up onto the druid. So identifying this, that makes me know that I'm going to go onto the druid here. And we get the nice full ring onto the warlock, and we blow everything onto the druid here. He's got no hots up. He has bark skin, but it's just not enough, and he's going to go straight down. Also, before hopping into the next clip, I just want to highlight one thing real quick. So another thing that a lot of mages I see don't really do that much is you cast spells that you don't intend to get just to get CS. Like, a lot of people don't, the better players do, but a lot of the newer players don't pay a lot of attention to where the spells are actually going, because they're not as focused on that. So I cast this poly here on this druid in this clip. He's actually immune, and I just fake it, and I managed to get the CS out of the way. That's pretty much what kind of really set up the game. We had already won the game, but this made the game really easy because I didn't have to do anything fancy to land my CC on the warlock when we did this druid go. But anyway, let's hop into the next game. Alright, in this clip, we got a game against Holy Pally and Assassination Rogue. And what you want to do in this opener is you want to get a sap onto the paladin and spell steal to get in combat, and then start casting your greater. What you're trying to do with this opener is, if they do let it go off, you can potentially go on the pally and try to force bubble early, but it's more of an Assassination Rogue tactic. A lot of people don't really understand the difference between the two comps a lot of the time too, so that can play into your favor. And so I do get this greater off, but my rogue does a good job of finding the enemy rogue, and we get a quick kidney up onto him. Right here, I should have canceled this greater right away and gone for a very quick poly before dropping my meteor. This is a big mistake on my part because, I mean, he's in the meteor now, so I can't sheep him. So what this is going to do is it's potentially going to give this guy a really easy sack. But fortunately for us, he actually trinkets this half poly, even though he was in Meteor. So I don't know if he really identified that he was in Meteor. But nonetheless, so we get the play kind of as if I didn't screw up, but I did definitely mess that up. And now we're just trying to stall here. I'm hitting Rogue. Rogue is really low. He has sack. He decides to use Vanish. And another thing that went well for us is we got the duel onto the Pally. So we're just trying to stop the recovery of the Rogue. I used my Temp Shield. We got Divine Shield. So that Pally was like actually taking a lot of damage during sacrifice. And what we're going to do here, since the Pally has no trinket, is as soon as Divine Shield falls off, we are going to get a full blind onto the Paladin. And right now I'm just trying to sheep the Rogue so that the Rogue can't get any damage going on my Rogue. My Rogue's doing a good job of staying out. I get the resheep onto the Dispel. This is a very, very, very standard thing to do as a Fire Mage when you're trying to set up and stall for DRs. When you can get a Polymorph and then Polymorph the Dispel on the target, that's usually going to stall the DRs a lot of the time from falling off the enemy so you can set up your next play. Then you're just pre-casting Greater into the Poly. We get the full blind onto the enemy healer, and he has no trinket for it. The Rogue still has trinket, but he doesn't have Cloak. He doesn't have Vanish. There's no way for him to get out. And we get a cheap shot on his trinket. We have Claw, everything up. He goes straight down. Alright, hop into this game here against the Demon Hunter and Holy Pally. This was actually one of the earliest games we played in the night, and we're going to get a lot of juicy overlaps in this game. Pretty much we're going to get a sap onto the DH at the start, and then we're going to try to, well, that's the idea, but we get found, I believe, and I get stuck in a stun early, so I go for a human racial to get out of the stun. I get a Nova on both. We're going to start our play. We're going to get the standard Mark for Death Kidney onto the healer, and I start casting Greater. I had a Racing Pulse proc. I forgot I have a 35 Racing Pulse on my character, so I get those haste procs. Allows me to fit in a really nice play here. So I get a Greater into the stun, and I still make it in time for the cheap shot. The sheep off of the kidney. We get trinket sack right there, and we get trinket on DH, which is a little bit of an overlap. Right there, I get a CS onto the Pally. I thought that maybe, if that was ultimate sack or something, I might have been able to force bubble too. That's why I went with that. But we get a good duel onto the DH, and I'm just trying to kite away to stay a little bit defensive. Right here, we get a nice play. The DRs are gone. We get the kidney shot onto the Paladin, and the cheap shot again coming out onto the DH. And I get 2 Greaters into this, and the Paladin was forced to bubble just to try and heal through this. I'm watching right now. You'll see me bring up the focus on the Pally. I see right now on the focus frame, you can see that Divine Shield. You can also see it on the arena frame on the right side of the screen. Divine Shield has 0.9 seconds left here, and counting down. And I get a nicely timed Polymorph and just Shimmer for it. So as soon as he falls out of Divine Shield, we get the full sheep. There's no trinkets. Pretty much that's gonna be the game. We got time for, I think, one more. We're gonna do a Mage Rogue clip. I actually have a couple cool Mage Rogue mirrors, but we've already put a bunch of games into this video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed these clips too. But anyway, let's hop into it. Alright, we're probably gonna have to slow this one down quite a bit. We got a Fire Mage Assassination Rogue fight here, playing as, of course, sub fire still. And this is actually going to be the last game of the night I played. I believe this ended me at 2215 CR in my really, really bad gear. Whatever, I get sapped here, which is not optimal. It was right on Invis, which really sucked. And he goes for the Shuriken Storm. He actually finds the Rogue, and we get the quick kidney onto the Rogue here, forcing the instant trinket. I just try to put out some damage here, and we force the cloak. I wasn't able to really connect, but it was okay. I tried to fake this poly, but it was a very, very fast CS. And I got sheeped up here. Right here, big thing you want to note is I don't quick block this. I don't freak out or use too much stuff. The Rogue's on stun here anyway, so we're not really doing a go. So what I know is happening right now is my Rogue is trying to get away before this Mage is able to connect onto him. And at this point, if we're able to keep the Rogue out and DRs fall off, we pretty much win this match regardless of what the Mage has used. I just try to keep the Rogue in combat here off this. I Nova off the end of this, and he vanishes it. So the Rogue has no cooldowns left whatsoever. They get a big go onto me here, but I still have block. I'm actually holding that Battlemaster trinket or that Gladiator's emblem as well. And I just go for my claw, and I start doing a lot of damage to this Rogue here. Stun DR is gone. I get a nice temp too. They actually force cauterize, but I have a big temp, so as soon as I block it off, I'm going to go up to about 60% HP. We're going to get the full stun out onto the Rogue. It's coming in. And I just come out of this block. My Rogue actually gets polyed up, but there's so much damage done to the Rogue at this point that nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going wrong. We get the DB onto the mage and the sheep, but we get a cheap shot, so I start casting greater on it. We still have a half cheap shot. Force block. I got to keep kiting. You never want to like disrespect your opponent in this situation. We get the duel onto the mage, which stalls. My health's pretty low, so if the mage actually has some damage, he can get connected onto me. What I'm doing right here while I'm kiting is as soon as he gets into LOS, I'm spamming spell steal because I want to hopefully take that blazing barrier from him. I'm doing anything I can to survive. I managed to get the barrier, and he's out of fire blast, so he's not going to be able to finish me quite yet. We get the cheap shot because the DR is gone onto the mage, and he's going to go down here. Just before closing out the video too, I just want to show these are the stats I played these games with. I have 445 tentacle of 10 corruption and a 35 corruption on a 465. I got pretty good Azurite gear. I've actually been enjoying the 2x battlefield precision. It seems decent. It just a lot of people don't play it because in order to get that, it's kind of RNG. So I got really lucky over the course of the season. I have 1 haste scaling corruption and 1 haste proc. It's not great or optimal, but it is at least usable. And I like to use the 460 claw and the emblem here. But only 15% versatility. I fortunately have 26% haste, which makes my mage at least function the way it's supposed to. But I hope you guys enjoyed these clips. It's really fun for me to upload some mage stuff again, so I hope you guys enjoy this, even though a lot of my viewers are primarily probably rogue players. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you want to see more? We're still going to be working on a sub-rogue guide. I'm actually going to probably get some input from Bondo too to help me complete that. The reason I haven't put out the sub-rogue guide yet, not to make an excuse, but a lot of rogues think that mastery scaling was the option for sub, and I really don't think that's correct. So that's what's been delaying the video a little bit. But anyway, guys, we'll see you all soon, and please like, comment, subscribe for more. Have a good day.